Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you've had a wonderful day. And if you're watching this, I am at the Burlesque Festival, working the door, and I'm going to have so much fun. It's going to be great. So that's why the hair's all done and the eyelashes on, makeup's going on soon. So anyway, back to foster care. So when I was born prematurely in Toronto. I was 2 pounds and 4 ounces. I was 3 months early and remained in the hospital until I was of a big enough weight to be able to go home. So when it was time for me to leave the hospital, for reasons I'm not sure, I'd have to pull out the file, I don't remember, I was put into a foster home immediately. I guess my mom had done something or said something to make the nurses at the hospital concerned for my welfare. And I wasn't in the home long because my mom moved in with my grandparents, and Children's Aid of Toronto was satisfied that my mom living with my grandparents was a good idea, and it really was. I lived with my grandmother for the first year, and after my grandfather passed away, I found a journal that my grandfather kept, and it was very detailed with really tiny little lettering, and it basically tracked my mother's movements from morning until night for about a year. And it was when she ate, what she ate, when she left, when she came back, where the baby was, which was me. And that's how I learned that my grandmother actually raised me for pretty much the first year of my life, and I think that is a huge reason why I am the person that I am today. And so after that, I was brought back into care 2 more times before the age of 5. I don't remember either. It wasn't until I was about 5, 6 years old that my memory kicked in, and that's when I started remembering everything, and that's why I've got such a good recollection of everything that happened, because it was about that time when I guess that veil was lifted. And so I wasn't brought into care until much later, but Children's Aid drove me to school about grade 7 because my mom had forgotten where I was and had landed herself in jail. And I was driven to school, but I was to go home after school. I don't know how my mom convinced them that I should go home after she had gone on some drug binge and landed in jail. But anyway, I went home after school, even though I really didn't want to. I was pretty upset that she hadn't come back for 3 days. And then in what was after that? The summer before grade 7 was when my mom had put me outside, and it had been a really crappy week the week before, where she was just acting really erratically and doing very strange things. And she had put me outside with a really long t-shirt, and I took the opportunity to free myself. I ran, slept in my neighbor's backyard. My grandparents came and picked me up the next morning. Children's Aid got involved, and I brought into care for 6 months with a family with a daughter my age and a little brother. I was there for 6 months, and I was sent back home after that. I learned years later from my social worker that the reason she sent me home is because I didn't give her a reason to not send me home. And I think about that time. I remember sitting across the table from her at the McDonald's in Peterborough Square, being so sad that she was telling me that I had to go home. And at the same time, I didn't want to speak badly of my mom. And also, I hated where I was living, and it just seemed better that I could be with somebody where the unexpected was expected, rather than going back. Lots of people have had it a lot worse than I did. I only had to deal with another preteen, but I also didn't feel very part of the family. I didn't feel included. I didn't feel that I was wanted. I really felt that this was just a stopover until my mom could prove to the CAS that she was capable of taking care of me. And so then I went back home, and then it was grade 8 graduation, and I stayed at my friend's house for 3 days after grade 8 graduation, and then my mom showed up with a plastic bag with a few of my belongings and a piece of paper that she had written out giving away her custody to my friend's mother. And my friend's mother contacted my school principal, and together they contacted Children's Aid, and Children's Aid came in. Because at that time it was the summertime, they asked if I wanted to go and visit my grandparents like I usually did, and of course I did. So I went to my grandparents' place for 2 or 3 weeks. My mom still didn't come back, or nobody had heard from her. She had gone to Montreal. And then I stayed with my friend Matt and his family for about a week. And then on this day, July 27th, I was picked up by who would become my last foster family and brought into their home for close to 2 years. I stayed with them until I was 16, and I had the opportunity to either stay in that home until I was 18 or move out and continue to get support financially and otherwise from the Children's Aid until I was 21. So I decided that I didn't want to stay until I was 18. It was very difficult integrating myself into a home with a mother, a father, and 4 kids. And I really had to prove to Children's Aid that I was going to be a responsible and capable person able to live on my own. And so that's pretty much a summary, and it's already been almost 7 minutes, so I'm going to cut it off today. I'm going to go to the Burlesque Festival this weekend. I'm going to have a great time because I'm performing on Sunday, and I'm so excited, and I will see you next Friday. Thanks for watching, and follow me so you don't miss anything. Have a good weekend.